Welcome everyone to Overcome Podcast. Today, I'm gonna talk with someone that I recently met online, but there is something specific that caught my attention, and that's why I invite her to be on the show. And it has everything to do with overcoming because she was kind of injured, and I'm gonna explore more about that. She was injuring her arm, and she was still at the gym working out legs. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. This type of mindset. So, Lauren, thank you very much for joining.
Yeah, of course. I'm super excited to be here.
All right. So, as I said, I saw that video that somehow went viral of you doing sledges with your sleeve, uh,
Uh-huh.
and everyone was commenting about that, and I thought that was pretty cool. And then I found out that you train at Destination, which is a place that I trained for many many years, and I've done a lot of work with Michael and the crew there. So like, okay, cool. Let's talk about it, right? So before we go to that episode of what happened with your injury, let's go back a little bit and tell more about your fitness journey. Did you do sports before? You started lifting weight later on. How it
Um,
was?
So I've actually started sports since I was really young. When I was a small little, like 4 year old, I was playing soccer. Then I got into high school and I was playing volleyball. Then I switched full time track, did that and for a little bit. And then like a year and a half, I did that in college as well with track. And then I kind of took a break from like weightlifting, working out for maybe like 3 months. And then I got into weightlifting and fell in love with it.
And when it comes to goals, do you have any goal in mind, or you are working basically to stay in shape? Because a lot of people that go to gyms like Destination, they always have a dream of competing or something. Do you also have that in mind?
I'm actually prepping for my first show, June 29th, the Branch Warren
Oh
Classic.
wow, nice, excellent, perfect timing. And which division are you going to do?
I'm going to do wellness.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense based on your physique. And how's the prep going?
So far it's pretty good. I mean, I am tired as it will be, but not too terrible yet.
And how many weeks out?
It's about 16 weeks
Oh, so
out.
you just start prepping.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not bad. I mean, it will get tougher uh,
Oh,
when it gets closer.
oh,
Yeah, I did. I competed for 5 years in bodybuilding, and it is an amazing experience because just the discipline that you get from from the preparation is quite amazing, and it will be really good to see how your body is going to change throughout this process.
oh yeah.
Um, what are you focusing on right now when it comes to your body? There are specific body parts that you are focusing more because, as you said on your Instagram, you are a quad mother, right? So I don't think that you have quad problems. So what else are you working on?
I'm very quad dominant, so no, not too much working, just maintaining there. Definitely trying to build into the hamstrings and the glutes. I do lack a little bit there. Obviously, with the injury I just had, I have to build my shoulders and my arms back up and tone up my back a little bit more just for this show, which will come with building into that show.
And talking about the injury, what happened?
I was in a motorcycle wreck.
Oh wow, really? So in how when was that? Like a couple of months ago?
About 2 months ago.
But did you break or dislocate? What happened?
So luckily there was no breaks or dislocation. It was only an AC separation. So I lucked out really, got really, really lucky for
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely. And your healing process was pretty fast because I saw you with a sleeve for maybe
Uh,
1 week, and then after that you were good to go. Is that really it?
so I actually had the sling on for about a month and a half. throughout the process of healing. There'd be times I would take it off, for content or videos for Instagram. But sometimes I would just leave it on. I'm like, hey, they kind of know. You got to let them know what's
Mm-hmm.
going
Yeah.
on. And to be on the safer side, to not injure it anymore.
And how are you feeling right now? Are you still a little weak to lift weights? Still hurts?
I would say I'm a little weak. So I do lift really lightly when it comes to any upper body. Sleeping wise, if I sleep too long on this side, there will be some pain, but nothing too uncomfortable.
I see. And any physical therapy, any specific things that you're doing to try to accelerate this?
Actually, no.
But any type of treatment like cryotherapy or any type of thing specifically for the healing process, or are you just letting it go and see what happens?
I kind of just let it go away and saw what happened. Like I said, I think I've made tremendous progress with everything. And so I'm like, don't fix what's not broken.
Okay. And are you working with a coach for this prep?
I'm actually not going to work with a coach for this prep.
Wow, look at that. You are courageous. You're doing everything on your own.
Yeah, for the most part.
The diet, you know exactly what you need to eat. You need to know exactly your macros and everything.
Yes.
Interesting. That's very impressive because at least for the first show, a lot of people they prefer to get a coach, right? Um, because it's the first show. I mean, there's a lot of things that probably is new to you, unless even if you are on this, industry for a long time. The first show is an amazing experience. So
Right.
why did you decide to do on your own? What happened that you were like, no, you know what, I can do myself?
So I kind of thought about it. Yeah, of course, like I'm surrounded by amazing people such as Branch, Trish, Sheila Brown, and people like that I could easily go to and be like, hey, I need a coach.
Mm-hmm.
Me some great people. But my thought process was, I just want to get in and see if I like this. I do get tons of comments daily like, hey, are you going to compete? When are you competing? And so I was like, let's just try it, see if I like it. And if I enjoy this and this is something I want to continue, then we'll move forward with working with a coach.
Okay, so that's interesting. So you're still on that phase of see if this is for you or not, which is amazing because it feels like you have the exactly type of body for wellness. So you already have the genetics, everything is there. So I would say yes. I think that this is for you.
Yes. So I just kind of want to out and see how the whole diet's going to affect me. I am hypoglycemic, so it is going to be kind of playing with the diet a lot.
Hmm.
Um, Especially, you don't have those sugars come like way later on. You don't have anything really, especially when you start cutting out the rice and no carbs.
Yeah, and right now, how are you doing as far as macros and calories? What's the average of that you are consuming?
So for each meal, I do about 4 to 5 grams of protein and then about 50 grams of carbs, which is jasmine rice, is what I eat for like each meal. Uh, so that's kind of what I do right now. I've started leaning out a little bit too much already, so I'm just gonna up it by a tiny amount, and then now it's like I said, it's kind of playing with everything, seeing how my body reacts, which I've noticed as of recently with me cutting down the carbs and the protein. I have started to lean out pretty well.
Excellent. Because I was just going through the your page, and I think that the first video you probably post around 2021, the first video ever on Instagram. And from that first video until today is a huge difference on how you change in the last 2 years. And you were not even preparing for competing. You were just probably eating healthy, right?
Yeah, I basically just kind of, well, for the most part, ate healthy, but I kind of just went to the gym so I could get away with eating a little more.
And but you gain a lot of muscle too. You gain a lot of muscle. You were definitely smaller when it comes to body composition and muscles, right?
for sure.
And throughout those 2 years, you were always also working by yourself when it comes to the exercise, the type of exercise, repetition, everything. It was on your own, or you had someone helping you out.
98% of it, yes. Other times I'd go work out with a friend or my sister sometimes.
Wow, that's impressive. So, if you were able to have this very impressive body transformation in 2 years on your own and just feeling, I can only imagine how you're gonna take off as soon as you feel that this is for you and go to the next level. I mean, there is a lot of things in store for you, I think.
Yeah.
And you are working with Better Bodies for. Yeah, I see that you are a sponsor athlete. Is that right?
Yes, they just brought me along to be a sponsored athlete, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah, it definitely fits your persona, right? Their gears and everything.
hmm I would say it also helped me gain that confidence too with the bodybuilding because, like I said, it was always on the fence. So it was like, when are you going to compete? I'm like, oh, I might. But then, being surrounded by this type of family, it definitely helped push me in the right direction and know that once it gets hard or if it's hard for me, I have people to rely on to help me.
Now you touched on something interesting. You said confidence. Did you ever had problem on self confidence?
I would say in the beginning, I did, because I started off very, very petite. When I first started this, I was about 95 pounds. I did
95 pounds, really? Wow.
skinny. I still had the quads, but I was very skinny. I didn't have, I had a lot of confidence back then. And so this was something completely new and different to me, being muscular, a bigger woman, something out of the standard that you see on a day to day basis.
Hmm.
In the beginning, I didn't have confidence at all.
But you didn't have confidence because you felt that you didn't really fit in, or you didn't believe that you had the tools in order to be around that community?
I think it's a little bit of both, and also the community I was in the beginning. I didn't really surround myself with the best of crowds. As soon as I made the move to Dallas, I started working on making sure the people who I hang around are people who are going to uplift me and encourage me as well.
Oh, so you moved to Dallas recently?
I moved mid November.
Last year?
Yes,
Oh, just now. Okay. All right. All right. And where were you before?
I was in Midland, Texas.
Okay. And do you like here, like Dallas?
Oh, I do not want to leave.
That's awesome. Do you live close by the gym?
About 10 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, the atmosphere. I completely agree with you that you need to be surrounded by good people that has the like-minded into this sport, so that you can start to evolve. Right now, your routine. Can you describe a little bit how it is? Do you do cardio separately and then you do weights? How you are managing? And you go in twice a day out to the gym? How it works?
So my routine as of this moment, I wake up in the morning and then I make my breakfast and actually get ready for the gym. And then I'll go do about 30 to 45 minutes of cardio. Sometimes I split it up depending on how I'm feeling that day or if I have legs. So if I don't have legs, I'll do all the cardio in the beginning and then I'll go lift. And then if not, if I have legs, then I do about 20 minutes before, then I'll go hit my lift and then I'll finish it out.
Okay. And then you don't go back in the afternoon. All this is always in the morning. Okay. And you said you do breakfast first, so you never do fasting cardio. You don't need to, right? Not yet. I mean, probably when you are towards the end, if you need to, maybe you're gonna incorporate. Do you have to meet certain weight for your division?
I don't think it's a certain weight that you have to meet, but the weight I'm looking at, because I currently weigh 165, I don't know my body fat percentage yet. I do have a scheduled body scan for that, so I will find out here soon what I'm sitting at and what I need to work on. But I would say ideally it would be like 140s for weight wise on stage.
And are you also working already on your pose routine? Do you have a coach for that? Or you also doing your pose routine on your own?
So at first I was working on it on my own. I did reach out to Sheila Brown about working with me because I know that can make or break you for sure.
Yeah,
And so I do want to work with a coach on that.
that's a wise decision, because sometimes you may have the best body around, but you don't know how to present.
Right.
And that really kills you, because I've seen people that are smaller than the others, but they present in such a way that becomes like 3D, and you can see all the muscles and everything just because the way they pose. So you definitely want that. That's pretty cool. Uh, One thing that I like to ask you, because you said you start with 95 and then now is 165. So look at that journey, right? It's a lot that you put over the years. What would you give as far as advice to young girls that are on the same situation that you were, lacking confidence and in doubt if they belong to that community or not? What are some of the advice you could give?
There's actually a bunch of advice that I wish I could give, me, myself, and a bunch of younger girls or any girls that are starting this progress off. To be fair, I am not natural. I do plan to compete, and that is just something that does come along with it, unless you do the natural shows. So one thing I wish I did start with was, pushing my limits genetically before I became enhanced, because I got up to 140 naturally, and then I decided to hop on gear. Um, I took some pretty hard stuff that there are changes that I can never get back. And so to me, I do not be impulsive when it comes to taking gear. I mean, it is so harsh on your liver, your kidneys, your heart, your blood, like everything, your hair. I mean, I have extensions, and that I've noticed my hair does not grow since then. Um, so that is one thing I do want women to think about when, they're like, oh, I want to take what you take, because I've gotten some messages like, can I take what you take? I advise against it. Um, start off simple, start off with the basics, clean up your diet, fix your diet, and trust the process for sure. Trust the process.
I really like your transparency. Thank you. And thank you for bringing this up, because as you said, you wish you had this type of advice in the beginning, and I like also the way that you portray. Try to max out your natural abilities before you jump into the next level, right? I mean, you got to 149 naturally. You probably could even go a little over
Oh, for sure.
without enhancement, right? But as you said, the sport requires that to really go to the next level. Nowadays, that you have this more mature mentality, are you very skeptical about what you take, and you to not cross the line anymore?
For sure. Because I will be honest, one of the first things I have taken, I started out on Anavar, and then I pushed it to testosterone and Tren. Tren was hard on me. It was really, really hard. And now, knowing what I know and not being influenced by social media, I wish I never touched those two at all.
Yeah.
But I definitely I am skeptical with it, because I do know the risks that come with it. but there are those precautions that I do know now to take, you know, as in giving your blood monthly, getting blood work done, taking your vitamins, and staying on top of all of that.
Love it. Excellent advice. Excellent. Very important. When what really happened for you to, have that aha moment and realize that this is not where I want to go, right? Because I'm pretty sure that in the beginning, when you start to see the results, you're like, oh, this is actually really good. But then, what was the point that was like, you know what, something is not right?
Um, so I'm very OCD with my skin. I invest a lot of money into hair care and skincare. And so once I started realizing I was breaking out, you know, on my arms, my back, you know, areas that I necessarily wouldn't have in the beginning, you know, I'd have a pimple here or there, but nothing like as bad as my acne was in the beginning. And then hair loss. Once I started losing hair and it wasn't growing back, that was like, you're messing up something you should not be in the beginning. So I kind of like realized that and took into consideration. I'm like, yes, you look crazy. You know, your legs are huge and these people love this, but you're risking your health when it comes to that too.
And if you take a picture, like you probably have pictures of when you were on that peak. So
Yeah.
if you look at that picture and you compare to today, there is such a huge difference, or are basically the same.
If I'm being honest, with the way I was eating while taking that back then and the way I'm eating now and the way I work out now, I would say I look better now than I did back then.
Look at that. That's the real testimony that you can achieve a lot of things in a more simplistic way without compromise that much, right? Because probably at that time you were harvesting more side effects than really results.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. No, this is great. So you believe that you look better today.
Oh, 100%. I love my physique now. Back then, I kind of hated the way I look, in all honesty. Um, you know, and like I said, I cleaned up my diet and I did start my cycle as of recently for this show. But I love my physique and I'm happy with myself now.
But between the time that you realized those things that were causing damage, did you completely stop everything and then you clean up yourself and then start it over? How was this transition process?
So I had gotten off of everything, got my blood work done, realized how high my testosterone levels were. Those were luckily it was my lipids were okay and everything else was pretty okay. So I got off and then kind of cleaned up my diet, was taking my vitamins and everything that I needed to, and then just stayed off for a few months. Almost a year I had stayed off of it, and then now I've started this new cycle to do this show.
Yeah, there's wow. So in November when you moved to Dallas, you were off, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and if we go back to your videos in November, it's not that big of a difference. I mean,
Right.
you still looking good at that point, and you were 1 year off. So that just shows you that first you have a great genetics that you are able to preserve those muscles, and second that as you said, as soon as you start cleaning up the diet and everything, you were able to get some results.
Yes.
Wow, that's awesome. That's really, really eye opening. Um, and as you said, you definitely didn't need all that.
Right.
Uh, since you were doing everything on your own without coach since the beginning, why do you think what led you to that route? Because you touch on social media, so you think you got influenced by that?
Yeah, you see a lot of videos where it kind of idolizes and romanticizes, you know, taking these hardcore steroids such as Tren. Tren is one of the most things that you see on social media that people just romanticize it, that it's this miracle drug and you're going to be amazing and it is true, you feel like nothing else. like nothing I've taken or done in my life has made me feel the way I felt when I was on trend, but it's something so deadly and so unhealthy for you. But it was definitely pushed onto me through social media because, with me being a fitness influencer, that's what I would see other fitness influencers posting as well. And I'm like, well, maybe one cycle won't hurt.
Hmm. Yeah. And you are still very young, so you really didn't need all that because I mean you're still on this growth, natural growth phase if you think about, right? Yeah. Uh, First of all, I'm really glad that you find yourself in this new frame of mind. And it's not only about the side effects. I think that nowadays you probably feel healthier than you felt in the past.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
One question that a lot of people may ask too, because when you are on gear, you sometimes have more gas and strength. Do you feel that you lost strength or not really?
Honestly, no. I feel like I've maintained a lot of strength that I had when I was on it.
Because you work out really heavy your legs, but upper body you told that you don't really work that heavy, right?
No, not as of this moment. Back then, before the injury, I kind of was going a little heavy, a little. I'd have light days, but then pretty heavy days. But right now, it's just light.
Interesting. Do you do a lot of deadlifts as well?
No.
No, I think I saw one video of yours, but it's an older video of you doing deadlifts. It was still in the old gym that you used to train.
Maybe back in, what was it, 2021 is when
Yeah. So nowadays you don't do anymore. Why?
um to me the risk to reward ratio wasn't there for me. I I will be completely honest, my form sucks with deadlift. So I realized there's different ways to work around it. There's other exercises I can do for, that lower back and your glutes and your hamstrings without possibly injuring my lower back.
So nowadays it feels like in the last 3 years you had matured so much when it comes to be more careful with everything, right? Not only be more careful with your health, but be more careful with injuries. Probably the only thing that you still have to be more mindful is the motorcycle stuff because it's still dangerous, and you you still ride, right?
I still ride.
So you just gotta be more careful there.
Right. Wear my gear. I'm very bad at that. Definitely you need to be mindful, especially being in an area like Dallas. Traffic is crazy. People are not paying attention. And, there's times I'm like, oh, well, the gym's 10 minutes away. I'll just wear my gym outfit. And then it's like, no, remember that wreck that put you out of the gym for like a month?
When you had that rag, were you wearing proper gear?
I wore a light sweater and some leggings.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And you were super lucky that nothing serious happened. It was really lucky.
I was on a group ride, and everyone that I was with even told me that I was very, very lucky to not have any other injuries because I was going about 65 miles per hour. My bike ended up flipping over a curb, so I had tumbled while that happened. So to walk away with an AC separation, I, I'm a firm believer in God, so I will say God was on my side that day.
Absolutely, he was. Amen. Um, wow, that is crazy. So yeah, wear your proper gear, please, and stay healthy. uh, when it comes to cardio, because you really don't carry a lot of fat anyway. You do
Right.
what? 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and which exercise you do? You stairmaster, treadmill.
So I do Stairmaster in the treadmill, but I was talking to a good friend, Leland. I'm not sure if you know him. He goes to Destination as well. Well, I was talking to Leland, and he does coach with track a little bit. And as me being an old track runner, he was like, make cardio fun. Go, go to a track once or twice throughout the week. Prep does not have to be something miserable or something same with cardio. Cardio doesn't have to be something unenjoyable or miserable. There's ways to find, you know, that makes it fun and makes it enjoyable, makes the whole prep phase fun for
Yeah,
you.
I personally love HIIT workout.
Oh
It
yeah.
is a great cardio. Do you do HIIT?
I haven't in a while, but I mean, I loved them back then.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, sometimes 20 minutes HIIT is much more effective than one hour on the Stairmasters in way less and way more fun.
And less time wasted throughout your day, because especially as a bodybuilder, you're eating every 2 hours. So it's like, do you really want to waste an hour on the treadmill, or would you rather, kind of speed up that process to lose whatever you need to lose in that day
Yeah.
doing them, you
So
know,
so you're probably going to incorporate some HIIT later on.
sure.
And do you remember any specific sets that you used to do for HIIT?
Honestly, no. In high school, when I was running track, when I would do the hit workouts. So, maybe finding some classes. I mean, I do live in Dallas. I guarantee there are great classes around here that I could find to go do that.
Yeah, yeah, that's for sure. But even in that a destination, you have so many equipments there and the turf and everything that you can easily do hits just on that area right there. So there is the equipments are there. Uh, so right, 16 weeks out, things are easy right now. When are you going to, what is your approach as far as making changes to the diet? Are you evaluating yourself on the weekly base, taking pictures and comparing? How are you doing this progress?
So yeah, I do take pictures. Currently, I am really kind of set on my weight because I love my weight. 165. I'm like, oh, I've built this much. I'm good. I don't, but I know as time comes closer, I will have to put the batteries back into the scale to weigh myself. Um, but doing those body scans, checking the body fat percentage, taking those photos, looking at myself in the mirror, doing my posing routines, and recording those as well, just to track the progress that I'm making throughout that.
But when it comes to the diet, are you making adjustments, or you probably gonna stay steady for at least 3 4 weeks until you got like 8 weeks out?
Um, so I have made adjustments, obviously, to what I was eating, because I was eating red meats. I would do steaks nightly, ground beef and ground sirloin. Those would be in my diet. But now all I do is lean ground turkey, fish. So any white fish, I do eat that right now, and then chicken. And then once it comes a little bit closer, I'll kind of clean up the turkey, because right now I think I have the 97.3, and then I will cut that out, switch it to the 99, or I think it's what, 99.1.
And as far as supplementation, do you add some protein shake on your snacks or something like that?
I don't believe in protein shakes.
You,
I would much rather eat a meal than drink it.
so you don't drink protein shake at all?
No.
Wow, that's interesting. Okay. Well, I mean, the protein shake, when people have to eat 6 times a day and they are in a hurry, or there is, it's a easy going, right? Because it's right there, or even post workout. A lot of people do post workout protein shakes too.
Right.
So you don't do that.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I've never. So I tried doing them for a little bit, but as time went on, I was like, this is not something I like. I like eating meal preps. I like doing that because I know exactly what is going into that. I know for sure I'm getting the protein that I need without any extra ingredients other than what I put in it myself.
Yeah. Now the key question: any cheating meal on the weekends?
Um, no, not as of recently, but I am going to do one next weekend.
Okay, okay. So not every weekend, but you're probably doing once every other weekend, something like that.
Yeah, it would be every other week. Bulking phase, I would say probably every weekend I would go get one. Sometimes it would be a more cleaner alternative, such as like sushi. You have the fish, you have the rice, or
Hmm.
and then of course my favorite would be In and Out.
Well, for a Texan, it's supposed to be Whataburger, right?
It's so-
Well, Laurie, that was a great conversation. I'm really happy that you took this decision to do the show. Wish you really good luck on this process. It'll be a super fun 16 weeks. You're gonna discover a lot about yourself throughout this process, mainly towards the end.
oh yeah.
But I'm looking forward to see how you're gonna look on stage because I think you're gonna bring a really good package.
Well, I appreciate it, and I hope to do amazing. I'm not going to put any expectations on myself yet.
No, that's great. Don't do that, right? Don't put expectations and don't put pressure. Uh, have fun. The most important thing is to have fun, right?
Yeah.
So I think that as long as you are having fun and you are celebrating, don't go with the mindset I gotta win. Winning is a consequence. Bring
Uh-huh.
bring your best and let the judges give the result.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
All right, Lauren. Thank you very much. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
All right, everyone. Thank you very much for your time. Stay tuned. We have a lot more episodes.